Check in with Winston Kelly.
Well, we're with Rick Mast, and some of the best garage area stories are about the egress plans or getting out of racetracks. But Rick Mast, you had a bit of a challenge this morning just getting into the racetrack.
Winston, I'll be glad when this race starts so my nerves will get settled down, man. I ain't never been so tore up in my life. I got in my car. I was going to be a good boy, leave at 6 o'clock, got in the car, it wouldn't start, right? Finally, I got somebody to jump me. At 7:20, I got the thing running. Got up on the interstate. I went about a mile and a half, come to a dead stop. Now, you got to realize that's probably 20 miles from this racetrack. I said, oh, Lord. I got off the interstate, got on Las Vegas Boulevard, dead stop, right? I said, well, this ain't going to work. Sat in that traffic for a while. So finally, I ended up, it's a pretty neat story. I mean, I don't know exactly where all I was at. Suffice to say, one time I was in the desert, didn't have any idea which way it was because it was cloudy and I couldn't see where the sun was. I didn't know which way was east and west. Got off the desert, angered back through this stuff somewheres, and I mean, I was going to miss the driver's meeting. I wasn't worried about the driver's meeting. I was going to miss the daggum race. Finally, you know, when I went through a couple people's front yards. I went through somebody's bushes right there at the fence. I don't think I took the fence down. I think it was just
that's Mast, Rick Mast.
I think it was just some shrubs, and then, you know, I couldn't find a cop or law enforcement guy to help me because I don't know where they were at. They were trying to get the traffic themselves, and you know, finally this goes on for a couple hours, man, and I'm like, you know, driver's meeting's at 9:30 and the race at 11:30, and I'm still like 30 minutes from or is like, what was it, 9 o'clock, you know, and I can't even sight, and I see them daggum helicopters going over me back and forth. I think that's where I need to be. Finally, you know, I'm down in somebody's ditch, spinning the gravels, and can't find a policeman anywhere. All of a sudden, look up and here, a policeman comes flying through this other yard, right? He comes up the side of me like he's going to arrest me. I'm like, oh, Lord, now I ain't going to make the race. I'm going to get arrested. Then he comes up to me and gets his finger in my face, you know, and I said, just settle down, and let me tell you my story. I tell him my story, and he says, okay, we're going to help you, Rick. So he gets on the radio, you know, in about 15 minutes to C's part. They get me in the left side lane. A motorcycle trooper comes and gets me. Here we go down the left side lane now on the opposing traffic, right, with the trooper in front of me with the motorcycle, and I'm running I'm not sure how fast I'm running, but buses are running off the road, cars running off the road. I look one time, and I'm exceeding the speed limit a little bit. I run off the side of the road because I'm trying to miss a bus that's pulled over to let us through. And I'm thinking, phew. But finally, we get here to the racetrack, and the funny part, the trooper brings me right in the racetrack, and when he does, you know, I stop and I thank him. He said, well, Rick, you're a race car driver. I thought you was going to draft with me. I said, man, I had the thing wide open. It wouldn't go any faster. Just going back, leave me alone. So I come in the garage area here, and I'm just now starting to get my control back.
And you did make the driver's meeting.
I did make the driver's meeting. I was out of breath, and everybody was laughing at me, but I have my motorhome here next year, believe me.
Well, Rick Mast, he'll roll off in the Cale Yarborough-owned car a little bit further back, and have actually had a pretty good qualifying run. In 22nd, he's been in every race, and that's been key for this team as they've kind of resurrected themselves.
I think he'll have that much trouble getting up front and leading this race.
After getting through all that traffic to get in here, from the sounds of it, no problem at all for Rick.